Thomas Edison was a curious little boy who loved to ask questions. He wanted to know how everything worked, from clocks to candles and from stars to thunder. Sometimes the grown-ups in town thought he was a little strange. But his mother always smiled and said his curiosity was a gift. At school, Thomas's curiosity caused trouble. He asked question after question until the teacher finally lost patience and shouted at him to sit down and be quiet. But Thomas's mind never stopped working. One day, the teacher gave him a sealed letter and told him to take it home to his mother. Thomas handed the letter to her nervously. She opened it, read silently for a moment, and tears filled her eyes. Thomas stood still, afraid he had done something wrong. Then she smiled, hugged him tightly, and said, "Thomas, your teacher wrote that you are a genius. The school is too small for you. We'll learn together at home." From that day, his mother became his teacher. She read books with him, wrote lessons on a small chalkboard, and helped him do experiments in their kitchen. The little house was filled with laughter, learning, and the smell of ink and paper. His mother encouraged him to explore, though she often reminded him to be careful. One day, Thomas wanted to see how fire worked. He tried an experiment in the barn and accidentally set a small piece of wood on fire.
What happened here?
His mother ran to help, put out the flames, and then looked at him seriously but gently. "Next time," she said, "experiment with less fire." Instead of punishing him, she bought him more books about science and nature. Thomas read for hours every night, his eyes wide with wonder. Sometimes he looked out his window at the stars and whispered to himself, "One day, I'll make my own light." As he grew older, he began doing small experiments with wires, nails, and bits of metal. One day, when his little invention worked, he ran to his mother shouting with joy. She hugged him and said she believed he would light up the world someday. Thomas's thirst for knowledge only grew stronger. He borrowed books from neighbors, filled notebooks with sketches, and spent his free time building strange devices. Sometimes he forgot to eat or sleep. Even when his mother called him to dinner, he would answer, "Just 5 more minutes." As a teenager, he began selling newspapers on trains to earn money for his experiments. But even there, curiosity followed him. Once, while mixing chemicals in the baggage car, he caused an explosion that filled the air with smoke. The angry conductor threw him off the train, ending his little traveling business. When he told his mother what had happened, she simply smiled and said, "Failures are lessons in disguise, my son." Thomas learned to see every failure as a step towards success. He built a small workshop in their shed, filling it with wires, bottles, and strange machines. The neighbors complained about the noise, but his mother proudly called it the sound of progress. When he invented a way to send messages through wires, people in town laughed and said it was impossible, until they saw it work.
It truly works.
With each success, his confidence grew. His mother, always calm and patient, reminded him that every great idea needed time to shine. As the years passed, Thomas became fascinated with one question: how to make light without fire. He dreamed of a world where people could light their homes safely and easily. Night after night, he and his helpers tested different filaments: bamboo, cotton, hair, wire, and every one burned out. He failed hundreds of times, then thousands. Friends told him to stop. They said he was wasting his time. But Thomas only smiled and said, "I have not failed. I have just found 1,000 ways that don't work." His mother, growing older but still proud, encouraged him from her chair by the fire. Then, one evening, something changed. The bulb glowed softly, not for seconds, but for hours. The room filled with warm light. Thomas called out for his mother, his voice full of joy. She came in, saw the light shining steadily, and her eyes filled with tears. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "You were right, Mother," he said. "I brought light." She smiled and replied, "You brought more than light. My son, you brought hope." The invention spread quickly. Reporters came from all over to ask how he had done it. Thomas told them, with a little wire, a lot of patience, and one wonderful mother. He kept her old desk in his workshop as a reminder of where his dream began. He became a famous inventor, known for his ideas and his energy. When children visited his lab, he told them to always ask questions, even silly ones, because silly questions often lead to great discoveries. Years later, after his mother passed away, Thomas often sat quietly by her old desk. He read her letters. Their ink faded but full of love. One day, he learned the truth about the school letter she had read to him so long ago. It had not said he was a genius. It had said he was slow and unfit for school. His mother had changed the words so he would never lose faith in himself. Tears filled his eyes as he whispered, "Without her, I might have believed the world. With her, I believed in myself." Whenever he looked at his glowing bulbs, he said softly, "This light is for you, Mother." Even after his mother was gone, he felt her presence in every invention. When people thanked him for bringing light to the world, he told them, "My mother's love lit it first. I only built the glass around it." As he grew older, his hands trembled but his heart stayed strong. When someone asked for his secret, he said, "Hard work, curiosity, and one wonderful mother." When Thomas Edison passed away, people around the world turned off their lights for 1 minute to honor him. Cities that had never known darkness stood still in silence, wrapped in gentle night, and in that darkness, it was as if a soft voice whispered, "Keep shining, Thomas." Somewhere, he smiled. Thomas Edison changed the world with his inventions. But behind every bright idea stood a mother's faith, a mother's patience, and a mother's love, a light that never burned out. And that love still shines in every bulb we turn on today.